Good morning or good day. Привет, namaste, ujambo, hola, and any other greeting that I forgot. Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of AXIOM TV. I am your student of nature, your fellow student of nature, Jason V. Sareve, aka Brave Mind, aka the King of the North. Thank you, salute. Today we're going to talk about a topic that haunts all of us, that haunts humanity as a whole, but you never hear anyone speak of it. Really, it's almost as if we've accepted it as part of the course or as a part of being human. And that subject is disagreement. Now, for centuries, some of our greatest thinkers have tried to resolve the problem with communication between people. For instance, Ludwig Wittgenstein, Leibniz, the guy who came up with the great mind that came up with calculus, and who I think deserves credit over Newton, because of Newton's dubious behaviors when it came to competition. Leibniz tried to come up with a way to make communication systemic. He wanted it to be as orderly and as precise as numbers. Excuse me. And then you had Ludwig Wittgenstein, who took a serious, hard look at communication twice. Excuse me. One time with his Tractatus, and in another book that he wrote that escapes my mind currently. But he wrote two books on communication, both of which I thought were quite a sincere effort on the subject. And then we have my favorite mind on the issue, on this particular issue, William Lutz. He spoke of doublespeak and how our language can be used in ulterior ways while we are appearing to be saying something else. He advocated for human language to remain in speaking plain. He wanted us to communicate in plain language because a lot of our words are either minimizing things or they're embellishing things. So you never actually get the truth because so much of our language or so much of our communication is utilized by people using words out of scale, if you will. So let's take a look at disagreement. Now, it seems like it can be a complicated topic, but at its most fundamental, really, it's not. Dissent is a conflict of belief. The cerebral way to settle disagreements is for all parties involved to yield to the highest quality of reasoning, which sometimes equals out to continuing to agreeing to disagree. Generally, this is the case with verbal exchanges that exclusively demand a subjective answer. For conversations that call for an objective answer, though the option to provide a subjective retort is available, the best neutral answer takes precedence. Now, disagreement perpetuates due to ego, pride, emotions, intent, perspective, and deficit of knowledge. Now, sometimes some people would say that disagreement can also arise due to semantics. But if you think about it, that follows from semantics. The issue with semantics follows from lack of knowledge, from the category of lack of knowledge. But there's also a societal environment that invites and encourages the willingness for us to make uninformed judgments. Free speech. Remember, there's always a cost. There's always a cost, an opportunity cost, or as I state in the book Wild, What is Life Definitively, an opportunity price to anything that's positive or good. There's always a negative aspect to it. And in this case, when it comes to, excuse me, I'm just having a brain fart for a moment. When it comes to free speech, pardon me. All right, there it is. When it comes to free speech, there is a negative aspect to it. On one hand, you have that, yes, it is a good thing that we're able to express our opinions and express our thoughts openly. But the downside of that is there is no consequence or punishment, if you will, ramifications for stating beliefs that are unsubstantiated, which is there's no incentive to research what you're speaking about. So, which is why we have a bunch of people in society, for the most part, saying a bunch of things that are either false, that that is an outright lie, that they know is a lie, or being intellectually lazy. It leads to no one's word being credible. That's the drawback of free speech. Now, getting back to disagreement, even in a state where absolute certainty was attained and overarching culture promoted quality decision making, the problem of people expressing naive opinions would still persist at some level. Ultimately, the onus is on each of us individually, in the collective, to curtail such a counterintuitive pathology. Universal ethics or morals, though denied in my book Wild, I do prove that they do exist. What is Life Definitively? In universal morals or ethics are the highest quality of information for a social species, serving as the emotionless referee standing in between us or as a traffic cop. They are guidelines or guideposts. Morals are synergies, a device, if you will, to bring a more quality configuration to chaos, to the order of chaos. Our disputes are to be settled by ethics. Our disputes and disagreements are to be settled by ethics. That's the conclusion I have once I would take a good review on the subject of disagreement. Thanks very much for listening. Enjoy your day.